talk to researchers and research funders early in the process so that you don't, bang on your door with your list like Martin Luther. But actually, they know that this is coming and they have some buy-in to it. Now you're almost done. You've got a good set of important research questions for your sector. Now it's time to get them answered reliably. So you need to start approaching researchers.
Your three broad options here might be academics at an institution, a local peak body, or an international research organisation.
I mean, a really important thing if you're dealing with academics is to realise that academics are typically very different from consultants. So you often can't just hire them to answer precisely your question. Academics famously are under pressure to publish. Their incentive is to do work which will be published and which is relevant to conversations that are already going on within their discipline. So it's often quite hard to get academics to do things to research things that is really quite different to what's going on, because, where is the conference on which they're going to present that paper? There isn't one because no one else is talking about that. So often there's a bit of negotiation, or there needs to be some creative thinking to find the overlap between the question that you have got and the area of their interest. And sometimes it's like this and there is no overlap, sometimes it's fine, but sometimes you need to be a bit creative. The upside is that of working with academics is the credibility and the quality of the research. Some are very interested in talking to practitioners and making sure that their work really affects something real in the world, and some aren't. In Britain we call this how ivory tower they are. And that's a bit to do with the institution, but it's just a lot, in my experience, to do with the individual and why this person went into that job.
Now, at a local or national level, there's really likely to be a peak body that can help you with your research. You may have spoken to them when you're gathering consensus on questions. Even if they can't help you produce or fund the research, they're likely to know people who can. If your work is one of the big international development problems like water sanitation or malaria or healthcare, there are international research bodies set up to help with research on these topics.
You may want to talk to organisations like ID Insight, for example, who were set up precisely for this, to do research that is relevant to practitioners, which may not be relevant or interesting to academics.
Now, they're generally very busy and inundated with requests for help, but we've put some links in the resources below so that you can get in touch. Finally, in the template is some notes about the detail of each question. Now, these are the kinds of things that a researcher wants to know. So by being prepared for this stuff, you'll really be helping them understand you better.
The aim of the game is to design programs that achieve as much as we possibly can for beneficiaries. And everything that we've talked about in this lesson pertains to that. So we're not here describing a jolly research process, for the hell of it, because we can't think of anything else to do. The aim is that you identify what you want to know, which will help you to serve your beneficiaries better or cheaper. You go see what we know about that already. If we know stuff that's useful, then use it. If we don't, then figure out what is most useful to all of us collectively as a sector in order to help us serve beneficiaries better and to find out that material rigorously and reliably.
In a way, this process can be kind of demotivating because it's like being less wrong, but being more right, little bit by little bit, is hugely motivating for actually doing the work week by week. So even if you don't get all the way through this process, just asking the questions helps you align your true north for the team, and that means that you're doing better stuff for your beneficiaries every week.
If we have unreliable information or unreliable research, we may get misled into running programs which sound like they're great, but in fact aren't great, and we're no better off than we were when we began. But if you do this right, you'll dramatically improve your sector's ability to serve your beneficiaries well.